Jonathan Pogash is the cocktail guru, a mixologist and hospitality expert.
Ah, see? You know big words. Dude, I'm the cocktail guru. Cheers.
Jeffrey's his dad, a wine and spirits author, historian, and consultant.
Oh, I do my homework.
With decades of experience, they're always looking for the next big thing. Join this father and son duo for a few laughs as they explore the hottest trends in hospitality with the service industry's leading trailblazers and tastemakers. Welcome to the Cocktail Guru Podcast.
Well, John,
Yeah.
we're on Hollywood and Vine.
We are.
And what do you do
The
when you're on
epicenter-
Hollywood and Vine?
epicenter of Hollywood.
Epicenter of stardom.
But we're at Lost Property Bar.
Yes, we are. Lost Property Bar, great place. Very spooky place today. But we have, again, I've been saying that I'm starstruck, and I really am starstruck, because not only do we have the Hollywood Walk of Fame right almost literally at our doorstep here, but we have so many great actors and stars that we're interviewing, like our next guest, J.P. Lavoisier. Incredible.
JP.
Hi, J.P.
Hi. Good morning.
It's
Wonderful
it's like
to
being
see you.
transported to the year 2000, 23 years ago.
It's unbelievable.
Because, go ahead.
No, more than half my life. Like I've known you
same.
more than half my life.
And it's crazy. And this is the first time we've seen each other in person since then.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been like half your life.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Did you always call me JP or was it ever John-Paul?
No, JP.
Okay, and because hearing it for some reason out of your mouth just now for the first time, JP,
Yeah, JP.
it just occurred, like some people, they always make a choice, like John-Paul or JP, and I don't care which one people say, and people have personal preferences, and they just, I'm always interested in, he goes with the JP, he goes with the John-Paul, and
But
there's no rhyme or reason.
officially, like SAG-AFTRA, John-Paul.
I don't have a middle name, it's hyphenated,
Yeah.
John-Paul is my first name, but yeah.
Well, I love John-Paul being of almost French descent.
Right,
My wife is oui, je parle anglais.
No,
et je parle
je ne sais pas.
He has no idea.
But you must be of
But hold on.
French-Canadian descent, right?
No, and it's deceiving because I'm American, Pennsylvania, out of Philly, Pennsylvania Dutch, German, I think maybe. No, I don't think my family was friends with the Beatles. I don't think it has anything to do with that. Or my mother, I think, just liked that name for some reason. I don't know. There's no specific. She's just like, I really like that name.
But what about Lavoisier?
And then that's where it's deceiving because people think I'm French Canadian or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know this when I changed my name when I was 15 years old. I didn't realize that Lavoisier, some people put a little Z on it, which is fine. I didn't realize that there was a French. I didn't know that it was gonna. I was 15. I didn't know anything.
And so it sounded nice to you.
It just sounded nice and it
You
looked
didn't know
great.
there was a French scientist by the name of Lavoisier who created Lavoris?
Dude, you know that?
Yeah.
That's why
I know that.
I was 15 and I saw his name in a science book.
Right,
I was dozing off, and that's how I came up with it. I was 15. I was doing magic. I was doing magic for kids' birthday parties and stuff, and I thought my name needed more pizzazz. That story's longer. I just cut to the chase there. But I was like, John-Paul, what should be on my business card for my magic shows? And Lavoisier, I saw Antoine de Lavoisier, and that's how I picked it. But then I had no idea that people would think, are you French Canadian? I didn't know what Canada was or what French was at the time.
Before we get into talking a little bit more, we always ask our guests this one question. You ready?
No, yeah.
It's a trick. It's a trick question.
It's not a trick question. What is your desert island drink or desert island cocktail, or you're stranded and you're like, this is what I need to have?
Oh, well, okay, hold on. So I'm specifically in a desert, stranded? Or I'm on an island? What is it?
It's desert island, a deserted island?
A deserted island.
A desert island?
And I want to drink.
Hold on a second.
It's called a desert island.
A desert island, but it's a deserted island. But it's
sometimes
a desert?
the island is a desert.
No. So why do people say desert island?
Yes,
they don't?
Yes, they do say We do say
It's just
desert
me.
island.
Okay.
No, it's not just you.
You have never made us think cerebrally about.
No, I didn't mean to. I just was trying to put my.
This is an existential crisis
It's
here.
a little too existential for me.
All right, you just want an answer.
Just give us a fucking answer.
I love old fashions.
Yeah.
And I will say the best old fashioned I've ever had in my life Joe Allen's is a close second because it's my favorite restaurant in the world.
Yeah. Oh, really? I like
but
it.
I will have to say that the best old fashioned I've ever had in my life that was mind blowing, that opened my eyes. I was like, wait a second, what is this big square? What are these little cherries? The Minetta Tavern on Minetta Lane in the West Village.
I was just there last week.
Well, wait a second.
And I had burgers.
Wait a second. I was just there.
Did you?
We were not there together.
I was just there a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
Really?
You
Yeah.
ignored each other. You both said with your backs
Really?
to each other. I'll see him next week on the cast. I've only been there 3 times in my life,
Yeah.
and you've been there last week.
What's the drink?
It was an old fashioned.
Oh.
I was sitting at the bar.
That's what we had. That's what we had.
I learned 2 things that night. Well, other than the fact that I like the trout almondine, I think
Yeah,
the
almondine.
trout almondine.
Oh yeah.
Amandine, yes.
Says
Very
Lavoisier. Yeah, I don't know how to say almondine. The trout, but I was sitting at the bar. This is 2000. Dead Space. 2007, 8, somewhere around there. And I was sitting at the bar.
You were on OL. One Life TL.
I'm on one, yeah. And I'm sitting there waiting for 3 other people to join me. And I was sitting at the bar, and the bartender was like, "What do you drink?" And I was like, and I would always be at Joe's. I was having Joe Allen's old fashions. I was like, you know what, give me an old fashioned. He goes, and he makes me this old fashioned that I had never seen before. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful. And he put these cherries in it that I had never had before because Joe's didn't. I'd never had these cherries before.
The real maraschino
cherries.
Yeah.
Yes, which are like $30 a bottle, right?
Yep.
At least here in LA. And I was like, I'm in love. I'm falling in love. And I was like, what are these cherries? And he shows me I was like, I've been drinking, I had no idea. And then you had the burger.
There were 2 different burgers. I had,
Yes,
my friend and I, we shared the 2 burgers.
There's the Black Label burger.
Yes, the Black Label
and there's
Angus,
the Minetta burger.
and then the Minetta burger.
The Minetta burger is a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah.
Did you have the fries?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Delicious.
Do they still make,
They're delicious.
I'm going way back.
You're
I
going
can't believe we're
back,
talking, this is 15 years ago. Do they still make Francoise special mustard?
I don't know. I did not know about it. If so,
I ordered the Minetta burger and fries, and the bartender who made me the old fashioned said, "Did I say Frank?" Yeah. He said, "God, I can't." He said, "Oh, you gotta." He goes, "Get Frank's special mustard." I said, "What's Frank's special mustard?" He goes, "We have a bartender here that makes special mustard to go with your burger and fries, and they add cognac to it."
Yeah.
I think the bartender put some kind of booze in the mustard, and I was
Really?
like, "So
Wow.
I would Francois special mustard." Francois,
Yeah.
if they still make it.
I think they do still have it because when I was there and ordered the Black Label burger, which was the time before this last time,
Yeah.
which was a couple of months
Yeah.
ago. I love Minetta Tavern. They gave us 3 little dishes with condiments, and one of them I think was that mustard.
Oh.
Yeah,
all right.
delicious. Yeah, really good.
I mean, we were saying when we first saw each other that your mind was blown because you want to tell the people?
No.
We worked at a restaurant together in New York City when I first moved to New York, and I was a struggling actor. And then you were acting, and you were working at the Russian Tea Room, and that's where we met. You were a server, and I was a bartender. I started as a bar back, and then bartender.
The RTR.
The RTR. I told a couple, I said, I can't believe I'm doing this. This guy that I've known for 23 years on 57th and 7th, and now I'm sitting with him on, I'm going to go sit with him on Hollywood and Vine in 2023. It's just a...
Life is a tangled web.
It's crazy, but you were, you were serving and you were acting, and then you got your One Life to Live thing, regular role, recurring role, and you were like, screw this, I'm out.
And and at the time, when you first, I can only speak for, I guess, soap operas or whatever, but like when you first join, you don't realize how critical your position is. Like they can fire you at any time.
Right.
And so like I gave in when I got when I found out that I booked it and when I was going to start, I think I gave a 3-week notice to Bismarck, the man. I think I gave a 3-week notice, even though, as opposed to the 2-week. And I think my last day was Valentine's Day of 2002. But then my start date of the job kept getting pushed back. I was supposed to start in March, and then I didn't start till April. And I was like, so for like 2 months, I was waiting.
You're
for
kind of
scripts.
freaking out a little bit.
I was like, well, can they change their mind? It's like, well, yeah, but they'll owe you for that first cycle. You know, even though it's years,
Right.
they still owe you. There's certain sections, but at any point you can be let go from any job, I guess, or whatever. So I didn't realize that. I mean, fortunately, it worked out. But what I'm getting at is, I think now as an older person and like if a kid, if it's like a 20-year-old came to me and said, JP, I just signed, this ink is dry on this thing, I would go, all right, here's the deal. Don't just be ready, because you never know, you might have to go back. Not that I burned any bridges, I don't think I did, but like some people get so excited, like, yes, this is it, and now I can buy things and do things. Like, hold on. And I remember when I first started working there, I was excited, and I got a little studio apartment near the studio, and a little studio apartment near the studio, and I was furnishing it with like nice stuff. And I remember, and I wasn't in hindsight, I'm like, man, she was so, I wasn't bragging or anything, but I was at work one day, and I was telling the girl that was playing my sister at the time, I was like, I just got like a new lamp, I got a new bed, I got a new like I was telling her about all this new stuff that I got, because I moved apartments, so I left everything behind me. I was like starting fresh, and I told her about how much I had recently charged on my credit card, right? And I'd only been at the show for like maybe a month or so, and she had been at the show for like 13 years. She had grown up on the show. And again, I wasn't trying to show off at all. I was just telling a great story about, I got this really cool pillow. And I happened to tell her how much I was like, yeah, I just put this much on my credit card. And dead serious, she goes, be careful. And she was like, she was only in her 20s, but she knew. She was like, be careful. And I had no idea what she meant. At the time, it didn't register to me that's all she said, be careful. And now later on I go, I should have, like, it was okay, but I should have been more careful. You know, you cha-ching, 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 and then, that's it.
But what do you, that's great. What do you remember fondly from working in restaurants and at the Russian Tea Room, if anything?
No. I will say one of the best jobs I've ever had. I mean, I guess it would be second to One Life to Live, but one of the best jobs I ever had. I was so lucky. I worked at a restaurant in Philly called Zanzibar Blue. It's not there anymore, but it was in the Bellevue Hotel, just off 14th Market Street. Anyway, the Bellevue Hotel in Philly. There was this great old school jazz restaurant. Really nice cuisine, live band. We had a stage, dark, and I was 18, and I was so lucky that they took a chance on me, because I'd never been a waiter before, and I'm getting emotional because I was treated like such an adult working there, because it was all adults that worked there. I mean, there were, younger kids, if you want to call college and, grad school type stuff, that was that age, but I was definitely the youngest one there. And in hindsight, I look back at that job was so cool. I got to wait on adults that were in a fine dining restaurant that were there to enjoy themselves. It wasn't it was an older crowd and more mature, and I look back on to be thrown into the wolves of adulthood at 18, having to be this server that was like explaining things, and I had to learn about stuff and booze that I'd never drank before because I had to take a test. So my point is, you said, did I enjoy anything about it? I enjoyed everything about it. I look back and go, that was great. So when I worked in Philly and when I worked at Russian Tea Room, I mean, yeah, you're in the weeds, and yeah, it sucks. During Christmas time, you're getting triple. You got 17 tables, and there's
Yeah.
But I think everybody should experience. Listen, I've always said that everybody should work in the restaurant. Everybody should work in a restaurant at some point in their life. That's never going to happen. Nobody's going to, but you should. Why? Because everyone goes to a restaurant. Sort of. I mean, we all kind of order food from somewhere. We all get serviced by somebody, whether it's somebody they're delivering it to you or whether you're being waited on. Understand what's going on that. Just understand. Have a little. So everyone should work in a restaurant for at least a day. Just so that, like,
sure.
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh, so when you're the customer, you're like, I get it. Hold on. Let's just relax. I get it because I've been over there. So everybody should be. So I loved it. I could think of complaints, but come on, I loved it.
And when you got One Life to Live, your life completely changed.
Yeah,
I mean, like you were doing it. That was shooting in New York. What brought you out to LA? Was that
the show went off the air?
The show went off the air.
Yeah. It was 2011 was when it was announced that One Life was going off the air after 43 years, and we had 6 months. The good thing was we were given a 6 month notice. So everyone had 6 months to go. Okay, and most of the people. What brought me out? Most of the people that were sort of in my wheelhouse of age and just similar traits, and everyone moved out to LA. Pretty much almost everybody on the show that was in my contacts, you know, everyone kind of moved out to LA, and I just followed. I wasn't like, you know, can I come too? But I just kind of went, all right, well, I guess I'll go to LA because they're really, aside from my love for the city, which I still have, there was nothing keeping me in New York because I'd been on the show for 10 years and I just had this community of people. I just, you know, for 10 years I had built this world, and then and the financial part of that world was over, and the friendships were coming here. So it's like I'm going to be with my friends. I'm going to be with my social.
Did you have a gig? Did you have a gig when you were coming out here? No. Were you starting over?
And I had
pounding pavement.
And I had no. I didn't know LA. I didn't have representation.
Your representation didn't carry over?
No. No. The representation I had at the time was bi-coastal, but it was night and day. They might as well have been two separate agencies, and even they admitted to it, or at least that's what they told me. So the New York office set me up with the LA office for a meeting. So I'm out here in LA. I met with them. I go home, and my New York rep, who I was actually friends with, he was a poker buddy of mine. Like, we actually hung out. Like, he was a friend. Like, and to this day, he's still my friend. He's a friend. My New York guy calls me and says, "Hey, I just spoke to LA. They'll take you on, but I just don't feel like they're as excited about you as they should be. I think you should look elsewhere." It's the same agency.
Yeah.
But that's and I went, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't." He goes. They'll bring you on. They'll try to get you out. He goes, "But I don't feel energy in their voice when they." He's like, "So I think you should pursue other places." And I went, "Okay, thanks." Click, and I did.
So you did.
So I did. So I didn't. So it's the same agency. You know, you think it's the same accounts, but not really.
Yeah.
That's how different they were. So I did not. So I had to get in. I had to find new people.
And then how soon after did you get the next soap gig?
Oh, okay. So when I came out to LA, my phone did ring a few times from a few other soaps, and I wanted to hold off because I'm in a new town with with offices that I've never met before, projects I've never even, because for 10 years I was unavailable.
Right.
Basically, I mean, we had we would be dark for, 2 weeks for Christmas, a week for Thanksgiving. There were 6 weeks around the calendar, but no one's going to submit you if they don't know that you can definitely be available, right? So I wasn't available for 10 years. So for 10 years, I wasn't like, "Hey, JP, you want to do," like, I didn't get any of those calls, which is now what I'm so excited for every day. It's like, "Hey, yeah, I can, yeah." So when I came out to LA, I kind of wanted to experience being available for anything and everything, like 3 days on this, 1 day on this, a week on this. So I did get a couple calls saying, "Hey, JP, do you want to jump back into a and I said no." So that happened for a little bit, but then I did. I got a very gracious, generous call from Days of Our Lives in 2000. I'd been here for maybe 4 years, so 2015. I think it was 2015, and something felt right about saying yes to them. I knew some people there. There were some friendly faces that I had met through the grapevine, and it just I just felt like, yeah, I'll go do that. So Days in 2015 for a year. I could keep talking, but so to answer your question, Days of Our Lives in 2015, I was on that for a year.
And then, how about after that?
After that, Days?
Yeah.
By the way, we can talk about anything you want.
I haven't really.
I want to tell you about the homeless person in New York.
I can't say that I've, I mean, I know you're there, but I haven't I haven't followed your career necessarily. Not that you would necessarily expect me to. But now, now that we've reconnected, I'm super curious because I remember 20-something years ago, I'd be super curious about all of this because it was the industry that we both started in. So, what are you doing? Are you doing anything now? Are you going out for things? Do you have things in the works? Like, I know that the strike just happened, so you're kind of...
Small world. Because I'm not trying to blow your mind, but hey, maybe this will blow your mind.
Okay. Try me.
And I'm going to be vague. I'm going to be specific. I'm going to keep everything kind of neutral, but I'm going to tell you the story. A week and a half ago, I get a call to read for a part in a movie that's in the horror franchise, which I love. Okay? You do?
I love it. That's my favorite genre of
really?
movies.
He says genre.
Genre.
I'm from
Yes, it is.
I'm from the hometown where they filmed The Blob.
Oh, with Steve McQueen.
Yes.
That's
my theater. That was my theater growing up.
I think I may have known that. Yes. And one of my favorite movies, The Blob. Yeah.
And then this story is really great for me too because of the fact that I'm sitting here with you right now because of the connection. About a week and a half ago, I got a call to read for a movie in a horror franchise, which I love, and I was like, yes. And then I realized that there's an actress, there's a girl in the first one, in the first movie of this franchise that I went to acting class with in 2000 in New York.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of whom I still have the number of. She still lives in New York, and I don't see her anymore, but I've known her for 23 years. I basically met her the same time as you, basically, right? And she's still based in New York, and she's in the first film. And I randomly get this call to read for a continuation, and I text her, and I go, I put myself on tape, and after I submitted it, I said, I just read for this part. Obviously, she knows she was in the first one. I don't have to tell her. I said, I just read for this. And she goes, oh, she gets right back to me. She goes, what role? I'll tell the director to make sure he watches your tape. And I go, and that was like 2 days ago. And I said, great, thank you. I didn't even ask her. She said, great. So this girl that I've known for 23 years who just happens to be in this first movie of this that I love, the first time that I saw the movie, I didn't even know she was in it. I randomly put the movie on and I went, oh, she was like in the first scene. I went, I've known her for 21 years. This was a couple years ago that I saw the film. And now, randomly, I got submitted that I didn't even know to read for more of them that they're making. And I reached out to her and she's like, yeah, because you never know who watches your tapes. Yeah. Sometimes you'll submit yourself and it has to go through and she goes, no, I'll make sure And I was like, okay, I didn't even ask. So, and then that was 2 days ago. And then I'm seeing Jonathan 2 days, like these two people from New York that we've kept in touch, we're still aware of it. We're still relevant to each other in some way.
Incredible.
So that was neat for me. It was neat that this just happened now. This just happened.
It's like full circle. And I was so excited to, I randomly sent you a note because I was watching Days of Our Lives on TV at a doctor's office and you popped up there. And I was like, what is going on here? And then
you had a seizure, and they had to rush you in.
Right, yeah. And Megan, my wife Megan, we all worked at the Russian Tea Room together. She was a co-check. So we hung out. We probably went to Faces and Names.
Oh my God! Yeah, 55th, 2 blocks away from the back door of the tea room or whatever.
Faces and Names. We'd make fun of guests, just between us and crazy coked out managers. It was a thing. But I'm thankful that you were able to join us in person here in Hollywood on the Cocktail Guru podcast.
And this can't be the last of our interviews with JP, because now we are going to be following him very closely with this new
Hold on, are we done? Are we almost
movie.
done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know,
unfortunately.
it's
I
quick.
want to keep going, but our executive producers don't.
I know, I bumped the table. That was me being deflated.
Dad, stop it. Stop pumping the table.
I'm
Jeez.
defying our executive producer.
You know, I saw magpies once, a couple years ago in a Starbucks.
Magpies?
Magpies.
Who's that?
Meg.
Is that a person?
No, Meg Pies. I don't know.
What's a
What is
magpie?
it?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I do or not.
Fine. Never mind then. That was a turd.
Well, what is a meg? What's a meg?
Why did you used to eat that together?
Never
the
mind.
two of you?
Yeah, what's the connection?
There's no connection.
Faces and names. They must have served
No.
magpies, right?
The end.
I don't know. There's something, maybe. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What do you
Jim.
drink? What are you drinking there?
Are we still on?
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell the story the same way, but Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's are my top two favorite coffees. And they're constantly they're both my go-tos. And there's a Dunkin' Donuts, by the way, a block away. That's where I went. Doesn't matter where I am. Coffee, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts are my top two. But sometimes, depending on how well they're made, they might flip-flop. It used to be McDonald's was my second, and Dunkin' Donuts was my first, Dunkin' Donuts was my second. But sometimes if they're too weak, it's not always the anyway. They're
Inconsistent.
So what am I drinking? Dunkin' Donuts, my 1/2 favorite coffees, believe it or
But
not.
now you're going to have a new favorite
What's
called
that?
Cosmics.
Oh, that's the new McDonald's
McDonald's
beverage-only concept.
Beverage. Well, they
What?
probably
Yeah.
have food, but it's a beverage
don't think they
chain.
have-
It'll be a
All right.
chain of beverage restaurants.
Well, we could talk about that another
Yes,
time.
beverage.
But
It's
thank you.
Let me just say, it's a cross
Wait.
between Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, and McDonald's. There's the
I
only
know, it's
one.
weird.
The only one is outside of Chicago, right?
All right. Thank you. This has been great, JP.
It
Great to
has.
see you.
It has this. I want to keep
And
talking.
Dad, I know, we'll keep talking. Thank you. We'll see you later.
And this
Thanks.
is just au revoir,
Okay,
not
bye.
adieu.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Tipple Time has been brought to you in part by Glenmorangie and Monin Gourmet Syrups.
Hey, it's Jonathan, Tipple Time, coming at you right now. I am pleased as punch to let you know that we are once again here at Tonga Hut in North Hollywood, California. They've kindly allowed us to use their amazing bar. I wish you could see the entire decor here. And what is that guy over there? He's like a drooling statue. What do we call him, Kat? Drooling bastard. The drooling bastard. Look at that. We'll have to get some B-roll of him. See, I'm already starting to use the lingo, the Hollywood lingo. It's B-roll, right? Forget it. So I'm just going to do what I know what to do, and that is make cocktails for you. This is a Mai Tai, but it's a super simple Mai Tai using Scotch whiskey, and I call it Blackmore's Thai, Thai as in T-A-I, but it is in honor of our good friend David Blackmore, whom we all know and love. My father and I have known him for many, many years, and he is with Glenmorangie, single malt Scotch whiskey, and he is always, I always see him in a suit and tie, so this kind of is inspired by him. So let's go ahead and add our Glenmorangie 10-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey to our mixing tin, and I'm doing 2 ounces, a nice healthy pour of single malt. And what we're gonna do now, oh, it's over here. This is the Mai Tai from Monin. It is their premixed juice blend, and it is really, really delicious and works really well in a classic Mai Tai, but also in other styles of cocktails and also non-alcoholic drinks. It's sort of this pineapple, orangey, citrusy blend. And now what we're going to do is shake this one up, okay? So I'll add my ice. We'll give it a nice little shake. You ready? Okay, here we go. All right. Delicious, beautiful. Oh, looks great. And of course, we must use a tiki mug to pour this cocktail into and to drink from. Nothing but the best for us here. It is time to add a little bit of ice to our tiki mug. Yay. All right, here we are. I have a little bit too much energy. We got a little coffee action before coming here to keep our energy high. And we're just straining that. Oh, that looks so good. I wish I could just take a sip right now, but I gotta slow down. Slow down, Jonathan. You'll get yours, all right? I don't know what I'm saying. These are some pineapple fronds. Look at that. That is so lovely. Did you know that I'm a cocktail stylist as well? I wish you could, well, you can see it if you're watching us on YouTube, which I definitely recommend you do. So I've got the pineapple frond, and I have some, a lime wheel over here. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna whisper because Dad likes the ASMR. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little sip of this right now. Okay, can you hear the ice? Okay, I'm gonna take, you ready? Oh, someone wants to have a little taste. Oh, Kat is over here. Kat from the Tonga Hut. Will you do the ASMR with me? Oh, sure. Okay, let's have what do you think? It's delicious. You're hired. Oh. And that about does it for Tipple Time. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Monin Gourmet Syrups and Glenmorangie.
That does it for today's show.
If you enjoy what we do, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast.
To watch or listen to today's episode or to see the show notes, visit thecocktailgurupodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, or TikTok.
The Cocktail Guru podcast is produced by First Reel Entertainment and can be seen on EatsDrinksTV.com, Spotify, and Zencaster, or heard on Apple, Google, Amazon, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Travel arrangements provided in part by Zell Travel.